Hello, I'm Sunil. I welcome you back to my Tech Basic channel. So today we'll try to write some of the basic programs, simple programs in C language. If you remember, in the last class we have discussed data types in C language, and we also have discussed how to construct a variable in C language. We have discussed the various rules to write a variable in C language. So just a review of what we have done with some example, we'll do it now. Variable declaration. For example, say if we want to accept name of a person followed by an address, including the phone number and the mail ID. Now we need to understand here how is that we are going to declare these variables like name, address, phone number and mail ID. So how to declare these variables using different data types available in C language. So when it comes to name, we know whenever we want to accept the value for a name, we are going to accept the name in the form of alphabets. So you are going to accept bunch of alphabets. So declare it as character, which means you have to declare it as multiple characters. So when I say character, it takes only one character. So when you say multiple characters, you can have bunch of characters, group of characters and so on. And here we cannot exactly predict whether the name will be of 5 characters or 10 characters. So in general, you can accept some more number of characters. And how is that we are going to perform the declaration? You go by saying character. You have to write it as CHAR followed by the variable name. So we discussed some of the rules over here saying that the variable name should start with an alphabet or an underscore. It should be followed by alphabets and a digit. And then here you are writing after the variable name in a square bracket a number called 20, which means you are declaring a variable called name which is going to accept the characters, but the maximum number of characters you can accept will be equal to 20 and minimum you can accept 1 character over here. So name can be declared as character. Similarly, if you go for address, when you talk about address, here we may accept alphabets, we may accept numbers, we may also accept some special characters like hash symbol and so on. So this also can be declared as character. So you can say character, address, and then as you have to mention your name, probably the door number, street name, city and so on, you can declare it as character address of 40. So which means you can give 40 number of characters to the maximum extent. Similarly, when you want to accept phone number, here when you talk about phone number, definite that we are going to accept only the numbers. But when you accept a phone number, you may not perform any arithmetic operation with the help of a phone number. So you may not perform addition of phone numbers, subtraction and so on. So when you do not perform any arithmetic operation, you can declare this also as character. As we said, any key on a keyboard can be considered as character. So you can write character, phone number, and you may have the number of digits you can specify over here as 10. And then followed by mail ID. In mail ID, you will accept again the alphabets, you may have numbers, you may have special characters like @ symbol and then period. So you can declare this also as character and you can specify the length of your choice. So that is going to be the maximum value that you can provide. One more example you can take over here. We want to accept data for name, account number, balance. So you want to accept the name, you want to accept account number, you want to accept the balance along with gender, date of birth and PIN code. So as we discussed in the earlier example, name can be declared as character, It can be 25 characters, 30 characters, and so on. Similarly, account number. Here also for account number, we do accept numbers, but we may not perform any arithmetic operations over here on an account number. So we can declare account number also as character. So you can specify account number. The variable name here, when you write, let it be very small, but it should have some meaning. So I can say ACCNO instead of I writing full account number and so on. And then you mention here how many number of characters you are going to accept for account number. So I said here 20, which is maximum value that you can. Then you have balance. When you say balance, definitely here we are going to enter only the numbers, which means we are going to enter rupees and paisa, which are nothing but the digits from 0 to 9. And when you say balance, you may also perform some arithmetic operations over here in order to calculate the interest value and so on. So in this case, you cannot declare it as a character, because if you say or if you declare it as character, you may not able to perform arithmetic operation. So better we declare this as a numeric data type, which can be either integer or float. Now a question comes whether I should go for integer or a floating variable. And the answer for that is, if you want to go with a fractional value, you can always choose to go for float. Otherwise, you can go for integer. So in case of balance, you may accept rupees and paisa. So better we declare it as float variable. So you can declare it as float BAL. In short, you can write it as BAL, or you can write incomplete BALANCE. So what is the data type that you are using here? Float data type. Then gender. So when you talk about gender, you may accept a single character over here as M or F, or you may accept in full male or female. So when you say male, female, M or F, you can always go it with the help of a character data type. So you can say character, gender in full or GEN, and then you can specify the number of characters. Similarly, date of birth. So when you talk about date of birth, we are going to accept over here numbers along with a special character called say slash or dash. So in that case, you can declare this also as character. So you can say character DOB of 10, wherein you can have DD, 2 digits for day, 2 digits for month, and 4 digits for year, separated by slash or dash. Followed by, if you want to declare a PIN code, as we know PIN code is a pure number wherein you are going to accept 6-digit number, but you may not perform any arithmetic operation on this, so you can go for character PIN of 6. So in general, we can say wherever we perform arithmetic operations, you need to declare the variable as a numeric type, which can be integer or float. But otherwise, you can always declare a variable as character. Hope the things are clear, how to declare a variable and so on. So let's practice this and try to write a simple program in C language. Let's go with an example over here. Example 1. See the problem scenario over here. Raj wants to accept name, account number along with the city name and the PIN code from the users, so that he wants to print the same on the envelope for correspondence. So he wants to print the name and the address of the customer or say a person, so that he can use it after printing to paste it on an envelope, and then he can post it and then have a communication with that particular person. So how is that we are going to write this particular program? So we need to list out over here what are the variables and what is the data type we are going to make use of. So for name, as we have discussed, it has to go by character. Account number also as character. City also as character. PIN code also as character. So you need to declare the variables over here, followed by you need to accept the data for this, and then you need to display the data to the user. So how we are going to do this? We will go with our online software, repl.it software, and then we'll try to code the program and then we'll compile the program. So before we get into our online software, compiler will just have a glance of the printf and the scanf statement, which is nothing but an output and the input statement that we have studied in C language. So the syntax of your printf statement goes like this. You will say printf. Within double quotes, you are supposed to write format string followed by argument list. So in the format string, you are supposed to mention a character, that is string, which will tell the compiler what kind of variable you are going to accept. Similar is the case with the help of scanf statement. So whenever you want to accept the data, you will say scanf, mention the format string over here. I'll give certain examples of this. And then you need to mention the argument list, nothing but the names of the variables that you want to accept. So the format strings can be written in this fashion. So when you want to accept an integer value or a long integer value, you can make use of the format string as %d. So when you say %d, it means to the compiler that you are accepting an integer value. When you say %ld, it means to the compiler that you are accepting a long integer value. Similarly, you can make use of %f and %lf, that is to accept a float value and to accept a double value. In the same way, whenever you are accepting a single character, then you can make use of %c. And then if you want to accept group of characters, you can make use of %s. %s is to accept number of characters and so on. Example, which we discussed in the last class. If you want to accept a roll number and suppose say this is taken as integer, so you can accept it as you can display it as printf %d because you are accepting, you are displaying an integer value and then you are supposed to write the roll number, the variable name. Similarly, when you want to display the name, you will say printf group of characters, so you will write it as %s and not %c, and then you will write here the variable name. If you want to display the value of the balance, which is in rupees and paisa, you can display it as printf. You can say %f and then you will write the name of the variable. So this way you are going to display the values depending on the data type that is made use of. And then if you want to accept the value, instead of you writing printf, you are supposed to make use of over there a scanf statement. Scanf, you will write %d, but when you say %d in scanf or %f, then you are supposed to write over here ampersand rno, because rno is a variable which is stored in some memory location in your system, and ampersand for that at the prefix will give the address of that memory location. So how we are going to perform this? So we'll try to execute the program and we'll try to code it in our online software called repl.it. So how do we start writing the program? As we know, we need to go with integer main, followed by, you need to declare the variables over here. What are the variables that you want to accept, or the values you want to accept? You want to accept the value for name, account number, PIN code and city name. So you can declare them character, name of 20, comma, account number of 10, comma, city of 20, comma, PIN of 6. Which means what? You are going to accept 4 strings. When I say string, it is nothing but group of characters. So you are going to accept name, which can be maximum of 20, account number max of 10, city name maximum of 20 characters, PIN code maximum of 6 characters. And then once you declare, you need to accept the values for this by writing %s, %s, %s. Why %s? Because we are going to accept group of characters. And then you need to write here the variable name, account number, you say name, account number, city, comma, PIN, semicolon. So this means what? You are going to accept name of type string, account number of type string, city of type string, PIN of type string. So when I say string, it is nothing but group of characters. Once you accept the value, then you can print them by saying printf. You can say %s, 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 %s. Followed by, you can write the variable names, account number, name, city, comma, PIN. And then the last line in your program has to go with return 0. Why to write return 0 and why do we write int main? We need to discuss this as we progress. Now that you have written a program to accept something and display something, save and run this particular program. Then your cursor over here in the terminal will wait for you to enter 4 values. So what are the values you need to enter? You enter the name. Then you enter the account number. Some number you can enter. You enter the city name over there. And then you can enter some pin code. Any pin code of any number of characters, maximum 6. Then you will see your output comes in this fashion. That's how you get an output. Whatever you have entered the name, you have entered the account number, you have entered the city name followed by the pin code. So you get the output in this fashion. But the problem with the output is not clear to the user. What is this? What is this? It is not specifying the details with much of clarity. So what all we need to do is you need to specify some constant values over here. Like you need to say name of the candidate equals to, or you can say name equals to, followed by you can say account number equals to, followed by you can say city name equals to, followed by you can say pin code equals to. Then run the program and see the output. So you enter some name over here, I'll do it for myself, and then you enter some account number for that, you enter some city name, followed by you can enter some pin code. Then you can see the output coming up in this fashion, and that is what exactly we want. You say name equals to Sunil, account number equals to 11, city equals to Hyderabad, and pin equals to whatever pin you have given. If you want this output again on different lines, what is that we need to do? As we discussed in the last class, you are supposed to make use of escape sequence over there, which goes like this. You will say name equals to %s/n. Similarly, account number equals to %s/n. City equals to %s/n. Followed by pin code equals to %s/n. Save and run the program again. Type the values over here. You can enter any value over there. You can enter name. Just redo that. You enter the name, any name of your choice. You enter the account number. You enter the city name followed by pin code. And then you will see you got the output on different lines. Name equals to something, account number, city name, pin code. And all these you got on different lines because of we making use of escape sequence called as \n. So this is how your output has to be. Your output has to always give clarity to the user. So I'll stop for the day. Thank you.